Well, I'm hoping next May's mayoral election is a referendum on the housing crisis London faces. For my generation of London politicians, it is the number one issue by a mile. We need to make sure there are genuinely affordable homes built in London, genuinely affordable to rent and to buy. We need a mayor who's going to work with developers to make sure those homes are built and sometimes stand up to government. The government's bill is going to make the crisis even worse. And so what London needs then is an independent-minded mayor who's going to champion the need for us to have more affordable homes in London.
To deliver a really ambitious housing programme, you basically need three things. You need money, you need planning, and you need land. Planning is a political issue. As a good mayor, strong mayor, working with local authorities can remove that political risk, can remove that obstacle. There's a huge appetite among investors of all sorts to invest in London. Today, that is causing some levels of resentment because there are a lot of homes and developments being bought up off-grid and left empty. And you have people investing in homes, leaving them effectively like sort of floating safety deposit boxes. And that understandably causes real resentment. But I think it would be a mistake to turn that tap off. What we need to do is find a way of harnessing that investment, harnessing that appetite.
If London gets more say over how London's run, it's not at the expense of other parts of the country. I'm in favour of Scotland having more power, Wales having more power, Greater Manchester having more power. The core cities, whether it's Liverpool, Cardiff, Sheffield, they all agree that London needs more power, and I think the mayor should get more power.
London, if you compare it to New York, where 50% of the taxes, or thereabouts 50% of the taxes raised in New York are kept in New York. In London, we keep, on average, 7% of the taxes we raise. So we generate huge wealth for the government, for the country. We then have to go to government and beg for some of that money back.
The more congestion there is, the worse the air quality is. We're going to reduce congestion, which helps air quality. Air quality is a killer in London. Almost 10,000 Londoners died last year because of air quality. Children's lungs are underdeveloped because of air quality. And the UK Supreme Court held 3 months ago that our area is in breach of the EU Air Quality Directive. Our area is illegal, it makes you sick, and it's a killer. So we've got to address that. That means spending more of TfL's money on making cycling safer, segregated cycle lanes, cycling proficiency in schools, more mini Hollands. We need to give people an alternative to use their car.
So the principal job, I think, of the next mayor, working with local authorities and working with central government, is to grow our transport infrastructure. That is the absolute priority from a transport point of view. And you said when you asked the question, it's not so much a tubes issue. I think that's what you said, but it is. It's about extending and growing the transport infrastructure. If you don't provide those alternatives, if people don't have a reliable, safe way to get around, then they're left no alternative but to drive a car. TfL is already moving towards the bridges over the river to the east of Tower Bridge, for example. There are 3 or 4 proposed crossings, depending on who you talk to. But there are at least 3 very serious proposals. They will only be possible as a consequence of road pricing. They can't be built without road pricing. So this is not a new concept. But I don't look at problems of this sort and have an immediate impulse to reach out for a new tax. I think there are other ways of doing it.